So let it be done.
Peace and blessings, everybody out there. Welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This is episode 190, which means we're 10 away from 200. And before we get into our festivities, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We've introduced you to some of your future favorite artists in the world. And today we go to Canada to talk to one of my favorite artists that I've met since I started Heritage Hip Hop. Let's put him on the screen. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
There we go. See, we got it all hooked up. You know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself to the people, please.
Yo, peace. This is G.B. God bless. Hands on Records representative, CEO, MC, etc., etc.
Yo, it is a pleasure to get to see you, bro.
It's been a long time, man. It was good, bro.
Hey, man, life is good. You know, we alive. We go through our trials and tribulations, but it's good to see a fellow brother when it comes to not only hip hop, but the life in general. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No doubt.
So let's catch up, man. What you've been up to since the last time you've been on the Heritage Hip Hop on podcast and show?
First and foremost, just focusing on my health, you know?
Yeah.
Just very important, you know, exercising, eating right, just getting my mind right.
Yeah, I've been seeing you in them parks doing them pull-ups and everything. You
have to, man. As you get older, it's all about your core and your flexibility, right?
And that's the point that hip-hop is at right now, because hip-hop is 50 years old Friday. Yeah. And the health of hip-hop has always seemed to be in question. It's always about, is it too young? Is it too old? Is it losing its responsibility? Is the core of it still healthy? What do you say as a person from the outside looking in when it comes to geographical location? How do you feel about hip hop?
As far as health wise?
Yeah.
I don't know. It varies, man. You still have your MCs out there that are actually exercising and eating right. Then you have the younger cats with the like experimenting with different drugs and things of that nature. So it's kind of like 50-50, you know?
Yeah, I mean, health for a lot of people is just your body. It could be your subject matter. It could be your mind, your faith, even how your religion is, meaning your daily practices and orientations. What is the most important daily hip hop exercise an MC could do, in your opinion?
I'd say mental health, man.
Okay, how so?
Because it's all in the mind, right? Before you get up and do something, first you think about it first, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure your mind is clear and healthy. I don't think people stress that enough. Like, people are always about like physical health and eating right, but it's really the mind is the first step.
Yeah, when you lose your mind, you lose faculties.
Exactly.
And when you lose your faculties, you lose your purpose. So,
bingo.
So the mind is 100% relative to being clean or being disciplined. What's more important to you, cleanliness or being disciplined?
You need both. You need both.
Talk about
it. Man. First of all, it's hard to keep your mind clean because your mind is constantly like there's always constant thoughts in your mind, and that's when the discipline comes into factor. You got to kind of like control which thoughts to accept and which ones to throw away. You know, it's always the duel between negative and positive, you know?
So how do you keep your mind clean to be able to write the type of lyrics and make the type of music that you make?
Who I keep around me, what stuff do I read, what I eat, all that plays a factor, man. The music you listen to, because as artists, we do listen to other music or other artists to get inspired, right? So if I'm only listening to one, because I don't just listen to hip hop, I listen to different types of music. So I get my inspiration from like different genres of music. So I'd say it's what you read, who you talk to. A lot of things come in factor, man.
That's very interesting that you say that, because coming from Canada, you have a very unique look on hip hop that I think people from the United States takes for granted. The culture hits y'all different because just like America, y'all have a lot of diversity when it comes to sound.
Yeah.
But the distance in certain places, the language,
Yeah.
the accents, it all plays a part in your geographical space. For those who missed the first interview, tell them what is Canadian hip hop and how you embody it.
As far like when I started listening to hip hop, like the people that were really like putting on shows and had a lot of like pull and influence as far as the urban scene is, was a lot of Caribbean people. As far as like Jamaicans, Trinis. So from that, I got introduced to dance hall and reggae and stuff to that nature. So I used to listen to dance hall, reggae, and hip hop. And yeah, and also you have a lot of people from the Latin community. So I do listen to some Latin music. So like I said, I was influenced by like a lot of different types of music, and I try to incorporate that in my sound. Like,
yeah, I mean that's perfect because I mean, you know, in the South they call that gumbo. You put everything in a pot, and you mix it up, and it comes out to be something special. And we always say it's all nothing like homemade grandma's cooking. Anything that comes from the soul and the culture is rich. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, like in the 90s when dance hall was getting real big in America, we had, you know, people were already into, you know, old school hip hop, 80s going into the 90s. But then when the Shabba Ranks and Super Cat and like Mega Bonton and things like that, the styles changed. Even in some of our favorite movies, like Belly, we had Sean Paul and DMX.
DMX,
Mad Lion and KRS-One even before that. So when we had Caribbean influence infused in the music, hip hop found a new soul that was very rhythmic.
Yeah.
Is your writing style very orthodox, or do you write to the rhythmic influences that you listen to?
It's both. It's definitely both. So, trying to put this in a way that people would understand. Me, it's really all about the drum pattern. You know what I mean? Like I can't, like for example, now you have a lot of like underground MCs or non-mainstream MCs using drumless beats. I can't do that because I'm from Africa. I need those drums. So if you listen to dancehall, they got different types of drums. So that's how I always perfected my style by rapping on different beats. Like I have songs that I've done on dancehall beats. I'm even playing with the Afro beats now. It's always different drum patterns, and I like to experiment and just kind of like test my skills and see if I can actually do it. So I do write to the rhythm. As far as like being unorthodox, I try to dabble with different topics. Like if you go to my YouTube channel, I have the Big Pharma freestyle. Yeah, and in my future projects, I will have like different topics that I rap about. I always try to attack it from a different angle and a different perspective. That's how I am unorthodox. But as far as the rhythm, I try to combine both. Like try to be like deep lyrically and also have a different type of flow, which is hard. Because a lot of MCs, when they get really like intricate with the wordplay, not all of them, but a lot of them lose they're not really original with the flows, right? So it's kind of hard to be super lyrical and still be kind of have a nice flow.
I always appreciate that. Everybody out there watching, if you like what you're seeing and you like what you're hearing, hit the like button, comment. We want you to join the conversation, leave a comment, and share this. You want to get these numbers up. Join us on YouTube also. Everybody out there watching on Facebook, thank you for watching. Join us on YouTube as well. We want to move you to the YouTube side of the universe. So not only it grows, but you get to also see what he's talking about and go to his channel as well after this interview. Some of my favorite music that you've done, I'll span your catalog, that what I have at least. And I want to say salute to Polo Blood Sport. I love the project. I needed that. You know what I'm saying? That was good music for me. But I met you when you brought out the song about 6ix9ine, the Michael Jackson joint.
Oh, King of Pop.
King of Pop was funny as hell, and we actually played that on A Squad Rebel Radio. Salute to Chief Bally. And the song got a lot of positive reaction, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people talked about your voice and how you set your rhymes up. I want to ask you something. What is the key to being a good MC to you? Because when it comes to hip hop today, you talked about the lack of drums. We either have people who rhyme good on off beats or people who are trash with great beats. Why do you think there's a disconnect? Like, what do you do to make sure you connect your sound?
I'm my worst critic. Like, I'll write a song and I'll be like, oh, this is fire. And the next day I'll listen to it again. I'm like, nah. I need to rewrite this again. Or like I said, like the King of Pop, I took all of Michael Jackson's songs and tried to put a whole scheme and bar together with it, which is like, to me, that was original and very creative. So I'm always trying to raise the bar as far as creativity, as far as lyrics, and as far as flows. Like every time I'm like, I gotta be super dope lyrically. The flow's gotta be on point. It can't be off beat. And the topic is always gotta be creative. Those are the three main factors that I always focus on every track that I do. I try to do it to the best of my ability. Like I'll think of a crazy punchline, but I'm like, I gotta make it flow. Right?
Yeah.
So those are my main three factors.
Lyrical exercise. Yeah,
constantly.
Not just talking. You know, I always say it to my boy. Shout out to Stress. I always say content with context. And
yeah, that's dope. I like that.
It reminds me of your song Algorithm. That was my song, yo. I like how you could pick a subject and articulate a meaning with the wordplay and not just rhyme. What are the best rhymers to you? Who are the best rhymers to you? Not person, but styles. Do you like the people who tell the story or people that could bar you into understanding?
Both. It depends. No, but it's really about the beat, right? Like when I listen to a beat, like I get like a visual picture in my head, right? And I try to paint that picture with words, right? So if I hear a beat that puts me in a mood to be lyrical, I'm not gonna write a story to it, right? For example, like the Biggie song, Niggas Bleed. If you listen to that beat, that's a storytelling beat. Just from how the beat is constructed and put together. So if I hear a beat like that, I'm definitely writing a story to it. Sometimes I'll hear a dude get crazy lyrical on a beat that wasn't supposed to be a lyrical track. You feel me? I'm like, yo, those are dope bars, but that beat, I think Jay-Z said that once, the beat, the rhymes, and the flow gotta have a perfect marriage for a song to be successful.
Yeah, it has to be in harmony.
Exactly.
If there's no harmony, then how can it breathe evenly? It could be distributed with equity. It has to be equal. Yeah. You know, and I think
imagine me spin a love song to the Annie Up instrumental by MOP.
That would be pretty awkward.
Huh? That's what I'm saying though. As an artist, the more songs you write, you start developing an ear for okay, this beat I should do this type of track to it, right?
Uh-huh.
But it
Yeah,
comes with time. It comes with practice.
exactly. It seems like today hip hop is so microwavable that everybody wants to rush to be great, not enjoying their journey to greatness.
But
You
that's
feel
not
me?
only in hip hop. That's for everything in life right now. People
Talk
want
about it.
instant gratification.
Talk
You
about it.
start
Let's build on
rapping
that.
today, you want to be like the term. When I'm on Instagram, I scroll down, legend, GOAT. These two terms are like oversaturated. They hold no more value anymore. Someone does something one day, oh, he's a GOAT, he's a legend. This guy hasn't put the work in. That's what I'm saying. Everybody wants instant gratification.
Yeah, we have that issue in the States. Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
call
But
themselves
that's
legends.
everywhere here, even in the like just in everything in life, man. Jobs. People don't want to work no more. They want the money to come fast. Nobody wants to put in work.
Yeah, work builds character, you know?
Yeah.
And the most important asset you can invest is your time. Because
Yeah.
we've been taught that a genius is a person that knows, but that's actually false. A genius is a person that spends the time to perfect their craft. It says practice.
Exactly.
It says practice till you're perfect, but genius is practice till there's no error.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
And so many people are so afraid of being wrong that they'll never get right.
It,
You feel
so
me?
you learn through trial, yeah, through trial and error, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta put in the work, man. It's not easy, man. But the key is not to give up. If you're being consistent, you're gonna win. That's
So
a
let's
proven fact.
so let's talk about the trial. Polo Blood Sport is an homage project, it seems. Now
Yeah.
you have to go through some studies to be able to do that. Tell me about some of the trials and the studies that you went through to inspire you to do this project.
To be honest with you, this project just came out of nowhere. I
Okay.
got the first beat my brother sent me was the bucket hat low beat. I heard the beat. I'm like, I just want to have fun with this beat. I'm not trying to get crazy lyrical. It's a happy, fun beat. Let me just rap about something I like. I like bucket hats, so I call it bucket hat low. And I've been following the low lives forever. As far as pole, I've been wearing poles since I was like 14, 15 years old. This is nothing new. I didn't really have to do that much research because I've been following the low lives. They've inspired me as far as fashion and music. So after I did that first track, shot a video, the response was so heavy that I decided to do a whole project out of it.
That's dope. I mean, that's your niche. Shout out to Ellis Sensei. He one of the low lives I know. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
dude.
sweet, yeah, from Jersey, yeah, definitely,
That's
yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, the low lives even have a documentary about their movement, about
Yeah,
how they went to go to the city and they show each other off their belts. Some show they
yeah,
draws, which is crazy. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And unfortunately, Ralph Lauren has made a killing off of hip hop, but we've taken the polo style and made it its own niche.
Oh, definitely. But that's the crazy thing about the low lives is like they never paid for any of the items, right?
Yeah, they was
So
boosting. Most of the girls on them was
yeah,
boosting back in the day.
and Thurston Howell the third was on one of the covers of the Ralph Lauren magazine. They actually acknowledged him by Ralph himself, which is crazy.
Because Ralph is a businessman. He
Yeah.
knows.
No,
He
he knows
knows.
at
The
the
more
end of the
people wear
day.
his stuff,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean his
It
name out
was free
there.
publicity for him if you really, well, not really free, but I'm just saying it was good publicity for him. You know what they say? There's no such thing as bad publicity, right? So
Facts.
yeah,
And- but think about all the things that hip hop has made great. Hip hop took the
exactly.
Timberland boot and made it amazing. Back in the days, Hill Figure was the was the shit, and then the Low Lives came and took polo to another level. I mean, to the point where hip hop is synonymous with fashion, thanks to
Yeah,
Diddy, Biggie, of course, Run DMC with the Adidas. Hip hop has become the door in the fashion world that people love to use but hate to acknowledge. So when you did the Polo and you got acknowledged, what did that mean to you to make hip hop fashion history in the audio way?
Oh, it means a lot, man, because it basically what I did, it gave me a chance to work with other polo heads from around the world, you know. I got Uncle Nick on there. I got DJ Trey. He's all the way in Switzerland. And we managed to link up. He did all the scratches and cuts on the album because I really didn't want no chorus. I wanted to take it back to that era with the cuts and the scratches. And I even got a chance to do a track with Thurston Howell III. So he's one of the founders. So that was dope. Yeah, I'm just happy to be able to put everybody together and present this project to the world, man. I'm very happy and content about the final project and how it came out.
And you should be. I love the project. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't say that about everybody's stuff. Everybody know that. I tell you, if I don't like your music, I don't like your music. I ain't gonna talk about it as much. But no, your project was very, very damn good. Because I think after I heard it for like the third or fourth time, I actually hit you and was like, "Yo, you did your thing
I got the DM
on this project." You know what I'm saying? The project is awesome, yo. I think what it comes down to that I love the most about your project is you are a relatively new artist, though, and you still pay homage. And look what the homage got you with people wanting to be on your project and the love that you got. Please, as an artist, let me hear you speak on this. Why is it important to always pay homage and to give the love so you can get the love as a new component of a building block in this culture?
When I show love and pay homage to the people that came before me, I'm not expecting anything out of it. It's just they opened the doors, right? If it wasn't for them, like this hip hop thing wouldn't even exist, right? So I'm just being thankful to be able to be a part of this, right? And be able to come out here and make music. And hip hop to me was very therapeutic. It just gave me a chance to kind of like just get all the stuff that I have inside and just let it out. That's the main reason why I rap. It's therapy. It's not the money. It's not the clout or the so-called I'm not trying to be famous. None of that. It's just you can tell by the type of music I make because it's not what's in right now as far as mainstream, right?
Yeah, and that's my beef with this thing. And there's always been the beef with hip hop because think about it. We got Melly Mel battling Eminem right now, which is one of the worst battles in hip hop history, by the way, right? Horrible. But it's always been a matter of mainstream versus the underground. Grandmaster Caz and people had an issue with Curtis Blow.
Yeah.
People had an issue with LL Cool J.
Yeah.
People had issues with Hammer and Vanilla Ice as the mainstream representatives of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
To the point where even today you have people who are oversexed, overstimulated off of drugs, or have nothing to say and glorify a casket rather than pay homage to the culture. And it's good that Hip Hop 50 has a lot of people bringing folks back, but I feel it still has something missing. What do you think this project brings to hip hop that has been missing in your opinion?
As far as unity, which is very important, not just in hip hop, just us as being black folks, period, man. There's strength in numbers. We gotta stop. Because it's really the industry putting like mainstream versus underground or East versus West or drill versus boom bap. You understand? Like my project brings unity because if you really think about it, when hip hop's in the early stages, what was the three main languages that was like had influence in hip hop? English, as patois, and Spanish. So that's the reason why I got thirsting on the project. That's the reason why I got some dance hall reference on the project. Obviously English, and I got the cuts and the scratches. And it's called Polo Blood Sport because hip hop has always been competitive. It's a blood sport. As long as it stays on wax, it's cool. As long as it doesn't get physical, but it's always been competitive. That's why the project is called Polo Blood Sport. Blood sport because hip hop is competitive, and polo because that's like as far as if I'm not rocking my own brand, I'm rocking low. So that's why the project is called Polo Blood Sport, and it brings unity because you got to do from Switzerland, you got to do from Brownsville, you got to do from Canada, you got to do from Harlem. We got you reviewing the project, so we're bringing unity, man. That's what we're doing. That's what this project brings forward to the table, man. Like, just reminding people we're all in this together. Like KRS once said, remember when you said, I get laughed when I get challenged by a million MCs. I try to tell them we're all in this together. So, yeah.
Yeah, unity is the missing component in hip hop. But you see, unity is starting to come back, especially after
people. I see it. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, especially after them people got their ass whooped in Montgomery, Alabama.
That was wild.
Shout out to Unity. Wild. Shout out to Unity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We ain't gonna go into trendy topics and go about
no.
people getting their asses whooped. But it's funny though, because hip hop has always been a rallying cry. That ass whooping that was given out in Alabama was a rallying cry for a lot of people because it showed the power of what can happen when people get together to protect their own.
Exactly.
And hip hop is in a movement now where people are moving to protect something. What do you think is the three most important things hip hop needs to protect, and how do you do it with your project?
Our history, man. As far as like who started and who was there, we gotta uplift our forefathers. Male, female, whoever put in work needs to be paid homage to, honored constantly, not looked down on as being like, oh, you're old school, you're done with. You got to stop doing that, man. That's number one. That's the most important. And like I said, unity, man. Like, and we got to stop the old versus the young stuff. Like old generation versus the new generation. We got to sit down and talk and communicate, man. That's another thing, man, we need to do.
I'm going to be honest with you. Sunday, I was at a Metallica concert. No, Friday. Friday, I was at a Metallica concert. And I heard people say they are 60 years old and they're still bringing it. You know, that weird spirit they yell with, right? And then at Rock the Bells, you had people celebrating Big Daddy Kane. You had people celebrating Roxanne Shante, Yo-Yo, MC Light, Queen Latifah brought the Women and Naughty by Nature out. I mean, I think hip hop's getting there where we're separating there. I think we're getting there to the point where people are embracing the 90s and not saying that's old, they don't want to mess with it. I think we need to bring the 80s back with us, and it's up to them to pop out, because when Kane and Rakim came back, when Gay came out to perform, unbelievable, you know?
That's what's up.
Shout out to Rock the Bells and LL Cool J as well for that.
For putting that together, definitely, man. Definitely. It's like I said, it's up to us to do it, though. I feel like people always talk. That's one thing about I've realized about like a lot of people that support that era of hip hop. They do a lot of pointing fingers and blaming, but we need to come together and create events like that, or create awards that are like forums that glorifies that era. You know, we got to stop pointing the fingers and actually putting in the work, me included. You know,
yeah, we all do, because that's the responsibility of any person in a culture. Because if hip hop truly is a culture, you have to hand down not only the history but the lessons and the mistakes so it can be made better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the one thing I feel is incriminating. because hip hop needs to grow up when it comes to appreciation, not just dictation of lyrics and beats. What do you think?
Repeat that last part again.
I think hip hop has to get better in teaching and not just talking to people, basically. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. As far as like I said, it's always been about balance, right? Like if you look at the 80s and 90s, like you had your Public Enemy, you had your Two Live Crew. There was some type of balance. It wasn't just one thing, right? And as far as like you're absolutely right about that. As far as the teaching, you definitely need more people teaching, not just on the mic, but actually practicing what they're teaching, also, right?
Facts.
Yeah,
You do that, don't you?
definitely, man.
Tell me
Definitely.
about the song Cypher, because that is 5%. And that's a part of hip hop that was based on the teachings, the knowledge, the education, and also it was about brotherhood and trust. And you seem to talk about that with your guest on that track. So tell me about Cypher and how that came about, and what message did you want to put out with it?
Basically the message was this, right? But shout out to the brother, Born King Allah, right? He's the one talking on the intro of that track. He's an official like 5%, and like he's really into his teaching and his lessons, you know. And I had met him. He's originally from the Bronx, but he lives out here now. And I had met him, and we were building. And he's actually the one that reached out to Thurston and got him on the project. And yeah, we were just building, and he was just talking, and he said something really that caught my attention, because he said like this knowledge, it's serious. Like as far as like we can't just let outsiders in and kind of destroy what we build, right? And that's what's happened to hip hop. A lot of people that came in didn't have the, I'm talking about business wise now, didn't have no good interest as far as for the culture to grow, right? It was just all about like sucking the life out of it and getting as much money as they can, right? So as far as like us artists, we gotta be careful who we do business with, right? So that's what that track was about. Like your cipher, your mind needs to be protected at all times. You know, from like we said earlier, from what you listen to, who you keep yourself around, to what you eat, the music you listen to, all that stuff influences you. So that's one of the lessons, man. You always gotta protect your cipher, man. Like 24/7, 365.
It's not only just business, it's even podcasting, because we got people who are not in the culture that report on the culture, and people are run to them because they have the right complexion, and that's very disheartening.
Exactly.
Do you hear echo, by the way?
Nah.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're good. All right. So,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Salute to Rhino C&D. That's a DJ from Jersey. He says salute to everybody in the room. Thank you, appreciate you. But I want to go into some of my favorite songs on this project. Not saying that we didn't talk about some already, but bro, let's talk with Soundboy Dead. That is a throwback track to how the 90s used to sample different things and put different sounds and words together. I like how you use the Soldier Boy. I like how you use a lot of the voices in there to make it blend with the track and have creativity with context and content. Tell me about that track and how you put it together.
Soundboy Dead is definitely a dance hall inspired track, heavy. Just from the intro, it just gave me a dance hall vibe. It just brought me to the days where you would have dance hall artists, you know what I'm saying, chatting over hip hop beats. And you'd have mixtapes back in the days where they'll have a hip hop version of the track and take the acapella and throw it on a dance hall beat. It just brought me to that era. So I was trying to kind of like make my own version of that, right? So that's why the whole Soundboy Dead. And again, like dancehall is also a very competitive art form. You see the clashes that go on in Jamaica at Summerfest. So that whole track was kind of like my version of that. And we all know the classic song by Smith and Wesson, Soundboy Burial. So all that stuff is like 90s stuff, man. I was really trying to embody that whole era in this project. Because my previous album, The Downfall, I had the one track, the 1994 track, but that was just like one track. But this whole project is really like an embodiment of that 90s boom bap with the scratches, the cuts, the dance hall.
Okay. That was your tribute to you're paying homage to Smith and Wesson?
Not just Smith and Wesson, man. There's a lot of people. Heavy D's another dude that had tracks with Super Cat. Biggie Smalls had a lot of tracks where he threw a couple of like the Respect track. He got I forgot what the lady's name was that did the chorus for that.
It wasn't Patrick.
No, it wasn't Patra. It was
Patrick. I don't remember.
But I'm just saying.
Look it up.
yeah, but exactly. So that was a tribute to everybody that did a similar track.
I'm looking it up right now so we can have the name so we can give her homage. I don't see her name. Diana King. There you go.
Diana King, exactly. Yeah.
We're gonna give respect to Diana King when everybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
I like how you use the KRS-One and all that in there because it showed it showed creativity because I'm not gonna say it's easy because it's not, but it would be easier for somebody who knows how to rhyme to just rap on a beat. But there was actual cuts and pieces of different voices put in there to show tact and delivery. So I wanted to salute you on your delivery for that song right there.
Thank you.
No doubt.
I like the fact that you actually like sit there and dissect the songs and really like, you know, it's not like a regular interview where people just ask you the same generic questions. You know, you can see you actually sat down and listened to the project and you know what I mean? So I'm just saying you're one of my favorite journalists as far as podcasting, as far as content. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm serious. Like I watch a lot of different podcasts and it's always the same kind of questions. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I do my best. And if y'all like this, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and join us on Heritage Hip Hop, wherever you stream your podcast or watch on YouTube. You know what I mean? Let's go to track number 1, Murder Them. That set the project off. Even the voices in the beat was like on point. I want to ask you a question. Do you pressure yourself? Do you pressure yourself to start a project with high energy to set the tone for the project, or do you?
I have to.
Oh, that's your goal? All right.
Yeah, I record all the tracks and I pick the one that's just gonna set the tone for the project. Because I'm like, this is my chance. Once they hear this first track, it's either gonna keep listening to the whole project or they're gonna be like, oh man, this shit's corny. And people's attention span is very short right now. I'm just telling you, it's just you gotta hit them right away.
You know,
and I knew I was the one.
Yeah, I mean, yo, that's a great one. Because I mean, it's like boxing. You can spar all day, but when you finally smack somebody, all bets are off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No doubt.
It's like now the focus has to be in tune. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my favorite track off the project is Polo Blood Sport itself. Yo, Midas Touch did all the production?
Yeah, all of them.
Shout out to Midas Touch, one of the most slept-on producers in the game right now. And the reason why I said slept-on, because you need to know him and you don't know who he is. Midas Touch is nasty. This project is nasty. Tell us about Midas Touch and y'all connection.
Well, that's my little brother. He just makes beats. Yeah, that's my little brother, man. Same mom, same dad. He just makes beats for the love. He's not trying to be in the limelight. You could just tell just by listening to the beats, he does it for the love. Be like, he's really into his craft, man.
Well, tell him I want some beats, and I throw him some cash too. Nah, I respect. I respect this craft. Yo, Polo Blood Sport is nasty. That's one of them beats. I heard it. It first came on. I was like, oh, this is different. Turned it up in the car, yo. I think I rode to that song 5 times in a row. Before you came on, we was mic checking. That's what I was listening to.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
that's why you saw me dance. Like sometimes I dance.
That's probably one of my favorite. Like the one song when the cuts were put in and everything was done, I sat back and listened to it. I'm like, yo, this one's definitely a banger, man. That one was tight. And DJ Trey did his thing on the cuts, man. He brought it.
Yeah, I want to service that to some radio stations because that's one right there. That's serious. I love that song. And you know what?
Yo, if you can do that, man, salute, man, because it gets tricky out there, man. To get your stuff out there, man. It's like the industry is it's clogged right now. There's like a lot of music coming out, so it's kind of hard to get your stuff out there, you know?
Yeah, everybody's doing the pay thing, but I could teach I could teach you some tricks that can help you out there where you're at, though.
Oh, word.
Yeah, that's all for this, though. Y'all can't get that. Y'all want that? Pay me. I ain't playing. So, as I was saying, that's my favorite track on there. I can't remember lyrics too much. Car accident, bad memory. But what I will tell you is what I do know. I like the way the project switches. You went from Murder Them. I'm gonna skip around. You got Polo Blood Sport, which was energy and it was flow and beat. And then I like how you said you went Hispanic and you put Representando on there.
Yeah, rest in peace to Hurricane G. That's her voice. That's the voice that we like. Yeah. Obviously, you know that already. For the people that don't know, it's Hurricane G. Boom boom Representando. Like I said, like I didn't like. I don't know if you heard that lately, where they're trying to say like Latinos are never part of the hip hop culture. Blah. You've been hearing that a lot. Like people saying some negative. That's some bullshit. So I had to have Thurston on there, and I'm like, when I heard that beat, for some reason I just heard Hurricane G's voice in my head. That specific line. I just liked the way she said it. So I'm like, I need to chop this up, send it to DJ Trey, and he did his thing, and the rest was history, you know?
It's great. I mean, as far as when they were there or where they were not there, the fact that they're here makes it great.
Exactly.
Because culture needs different pockets. Even for people who are religious, in the Bible, Upper Israel and Lower Israel were separated by their accents. Shibboleth and Sibboleth is how they said different words. The same word in different ways.
So I just learned something today. I didn't even know that.
Oh, there you go. So different pockets, different niches always exist in culture. Yeah. And what I like about Representando is the horns. Because the horns are very symbolic to Hispanic culture, whether it's Congo drums, horns. You give it respect to Tito Puente, Hector Lavoe, any of that sound, it's very, very euphoric.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So salute to you for that. And salute to Midas Touch, one of my favorite producers that I need to get in touch with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need to get him on the show, man, so he can break down how he makes his beats and all that.
Well, check this out. I'm glad you said that. Let me see if I can find it. Because I do have a show on Heritage Hip Hop called Truth Behind Beats, where I interview producers and I also give them a sample and see if they can make their own original beat off of a sample.
On the spot.
Well, no, I give it to him a week in advance to prep them for the interview.
Yeah, he'll eat it up. He'll kill it. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because he's my brother. I'm telling you, man. He's because he actually plays instruments. That's why his beats are kind of like
cheat code.
Yeah.
Well, tell him you've been challenged to appear on Heritage Hip Hop, Truth Behind Beats. You know, have you ever saw Truth Behind Beats?
No, I've seen you talk about it on Instagram and make a few posts, but I haven't actually had a chance to tune in.
So check it out. Go to my YouTube page, put in Heritage Hip Hop, Truth Behind Beats.
Yeah.
I have a playlist. Shout out to the two producers that were on there so far. They were making beats on the rip right in front of me. We playing them on the show. So
definitely, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, and one of them actually made it to the producer's album, and it's a great album. So salute to Smokey Lots. You know what I'm saying? Sualan Entertainment. But back to you, because there is something I want to ask you that's very direct.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah.
Since you've been creating, you've been paying homage a lot. What is the main part of hip hop that you try to work yourself towards being a great in besides lyricism?
Me, it'd be probably more towards like the business side, right? I just want people to get their just due as far as like financially, right? And be able to be stable and not played with. So like this whole hands-on thing, and like I'm the first artist on it, but the goal is to kind of like put others artists on and make sure, you know, like I said, I want to like probably have like the hands-on hip hop award, hands-on b-boy contest, hands-on graffiti, like hands-on independent fashion. Like I just like promote artists that were hands-on with their own gift or craft or whatever you want to call it. I didn't wait to get a deal or like give these artists a platform or pay homage to them by having like an award show, but just strictly for independent artists. That's what I'm working towards.
How hard is that in Canada with so many?
It's not hard, man. It's just the financial. And can I say something right now? I just wanna make sure people understand. I'm not gonna name any names. I watched a few. I watched some podcast show in the States, and there's some Canadian artists that go on there and saying that like Canada just gives music like financial grants to artists. That shit is bullshit. I just want to set the record straight. Only certain artists get grants. You know what I mean? As far as like, and some of the grants, it clearly says if you do urban music, urban meaning hip hop, you know, black music, you can't apply for certain grants. So I just want to set the record straight. It's not like the government is out here giving people free money. Like all the stuff that I do is all money out of my pocket. I try to apply for certain grants and I got rejected a lot of times. So I just want to crush that myth of like the Canadian government's out here just giving people free money, man. That's a bunch of bullshit. Just wanted to clarify that.
No, that's great that you did, because one thing I want to ask all artists, I know what it costs for me to do what I do yearly. I'm official. You're official too. So you know about doing them taxes and doing those credits and debits and loss statements, revenue and all that.
Oh, the hands-on is registered, man. I got the license and all that. Do my taxes. That's how I get my money back. I tell people all the time, man. That's why a lot of my projects all my projects, the entire project is not on Spotify. You can stream 1 or 2, 3 tracks, but everything else, if you want the whole project itself, you gotta pay for it because I gotta make my money back. That's how a lot of artists quit making music. Because just think about it, like you spend all this money for studio mixing, mastering, promo, and all that stuff, and you just throw it on Spotify and you wait for the stream money to come in. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's hustling backwards.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
You don't give your money to the bank and have the bank work for you unless you're buying the bank.
Exactly.
And I don't know nobody who has a piece of Spotify.
No.
You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. Like, true artistry isn't just the music. That's why they say what the music is only 10% of the business and 90% business.
Yeah, exactly, man.
If you decline the 90%, what are you really doing this for? And like I said, are you a hobbyist or are you an artist? And I meet a lot of hobbyists, not a lot of artists. How about yourself? Is it the same for you?
Oh, definitely, man. Everybody, like, that's why I gotta do everything by myself. A lot of people I get in contact with or I talk to when it comes to putting in work, everybody's good at throwing ideas around. Hey, we should do this, we should do that. Cool. Okay, what can you do? Like, what responsibilities? Oh, you do this, yeah, but when it's time to put in the work, no one wants to do anything, man. Everybody's too busy, or even put money in. It's crazy. That's why I'd rather just do stuff by myself. It's the reason why it's called hands-on. I just don't say that because it sounds good. Like, I'm really hands-on with what I'm doing as far as the business side, as far as the clothing. That's another thing that I'm into.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I had a business partner, and health reasons took him out of the grind. So I want to give a salute to BQ of Fatty's Place. That's my man's right there, and he's held me down in ways where you realize how valuable it is to have somebody on your team when you can't have somebody on your team. You know?
Yeah, that's really down.
So if Hands On is you and you're the first artist, is Midas Touch signed?
Nah, man. He's part of it. He gives me all the beats, man. Like, he does more than enough. Yeah, he's not signed. It's kind of like you've seen the Wu-Tang series, Jizza and RZA. Jizza tells RZA, man, I'm your cousin, man. I don't need to sign no contract. You know, my word is bond.
Yeah, and I respect that too. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. So look, we got to the end of the interview. So drop everybody your social media, how they can get the project, and then we're gonna have some fun.
One-stop shop, man. All you gotta do is go to handsonrecords.com. As soon as you go to handsonrecords.com, all the projects are there, all the merch. It's a one-stop shop. HANDZ records.com. You can hit me up on Instagram at handson365. But as soon as you go to the website, everything is up there, man. That's it.
That's right. All hands on deck.
Polo Blood Sport. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's one of the better projects I heard this year. This year started off really slow.
And I just got another project dropping at the end of this month. Just letting you guys know, man. I got 2 projects already done. I got another one dropping. It's part 2 of My Downfall. It's part 2.
Okay. That's a D one. Life After Death was just celebrated as being one of the greatest albums of all time. Iconic records.
Yeah.
So let's see where you take it. You know, that's the goal, right?
As far as the hands on everything, the first chapter was My Downfall. This one is called My Demons. This is an actual true story. These are like audio books. So that was chapter 1. Now we're going to go to chapter 2 at the end of this month. And September, October, I'm going to drop chapter 3.
Please do promo so you get that look, because
but we gotta talk off camera about
because that is very serious, because you have credible art and I don't want it to go unheard, because no art goes to waste. I just want it to be experienced. So, all right. So check this out. Let's have some fun. You remember the rapid fire questions, right?
Let's go.
Here we go, y'all. For those who don't know, the rapid fire questions are not yes/no questions. Those are questions designed to show your intellect and your know-how when it comes to hip-hop music and the culture that you represent. So here's question number 1. To what disadvantage is it to always pit MCs against each other and not celebrate the art, in your opinion?
Well, because it just makes it the culture won't grow, man. As far as like if it's too competitive, then egos get involved. People don't want to. If you're constantly destroying, then you can't build.
Yeah, I saw that with the Ice Cube versus Biggie.
Yeah.
And it didn't start out as who was better. It was who told better stories. Then people took it far to the left and it destroyed the context.
That's when the egos get involved. There's a lot of testosterone and ego in hip hop.
Okay. I don't think I asked you this question, and this is a very important question I like to ask writers. Because you're not a rapper only, you are a writer in the shows.
Yeah.
In a versus battle, what two MCs perfectly make you?
In a versus battle. That's a good question. As far as just battling,
like if it was a versus, those two MCs, if I listen to them both, they both make up you.
I'd say as far as like I'd say KRS as far as like the stage presence, because I just go crazy on stage. I'm not the type to just stand still and spit my bars. And I'd say Cannabis, just as far as just getting vicious with it.
KRS and Cannabis? Wow. That's very polar opposite. That's deep. That is deep. That's deep. Okay. Here's my next question. The Caribbean is the home of many identities. Do you think it was unfair for Busta Rhymes to say that hip hop had no identity until the Caribbeans took over hip hop or came into hip hop?
Nah, I didn't agree with that.
Talk about it.
Because Kool Herc made some contributions to hip hop as far as like the speakers and all that. And there's other forefathers in America that made their contributions. So let's not just make it seem that it was like one person that put this whole thing together. You know what I mean? That the Caribbean brought their own flavor to it, but there's already people here still doing it, you know? As far as identity, like I don't know about identity because hip hop has a lot of influence. You got your kung fu thing, you got your b-boy, you got your graffiti, you got your DJs, you got your MCs. As far as I can recall, like Kool Herc was not an MC. He's not an MC, right? I think he was just a graffiti artist and DJ.
Yeah, people tend not to know about Grandmaster Flowers in the early movement of hip hop, but it wasn't called hip hop then. So,
exactly,
you know. But here's my last question before we get up out of here. Before I tell everybody, thank you for listening to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you're streaming us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeartRadio, thank you. Please follow us on Anchor.fm because we like to make money off of our stuff as well. If you'd like to donate, $ Heritage Hip Hop in the Cash App. We'd like to thank my man MC G.B. from Hands On Records. And we're going to hit him with the final question right now.
Yeah.
What does it take to grow as an MC? And how would you teach someone who wants to rhyme how to be an MC?
To grow as an MC is from what I've done is to constantly keep writing, man, and keep pushing yourself. Always try to outdo yourself, man. Like you write a rhyme, the next rhyme you write has to be better. And also play with different topics. Don't just be like one-dimensional, man. Like just don't keep rapping about the same stuff all the time, right? And also reading is fundamental. You gotta read, man. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta dig. You gotta dig for knowledge, man. Like you gotta master the language, the words, right? You gotta understand how words are put together, man. There's a lot of that's if you want to be an MC and not a rapper, because there's a difference.
100% said well. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoy this podcast episode of Heritage Hip Hop. This is episode 190. 10 more to go. We get to 200. I'd like to thank my brother from Canada, my man right there. Canada is definitely in the story in the annals of hip hop. Shout out to him. Y'all like Drake? Shout out to Drake. Shout out to Cardinal Official. Shout out to Ice Water. Shout out to everybody out there who's done their thing in Canada and made hip hop great. Oh, shout out to Righteous as well. So with that being said, this is Forever Heritage Hip Hop with my man G.B. saying peace.
Peace.
And we out.